The signing with Virgin meant that the Sex Pistols could finally release the album they'd been working on. It was called Never Mind the Bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols.
Virgin at first loved it because Franson was all over putting the posters on all over his stores. There was a sense that somebody, somewhere, was going to declare this kind of work bad behaviour, and it shouldn't be an album that should be on such display.
A Virgin record store manager was taken to court under an indecency law which dated from 1899. It was claimed the window display in his shop was inflicting the album onto an unsuspecting public. It was bollocks, in other words.
And that's why the word bollocks was taken to court. And thank you, Richard, because he backed us on that. We proved it was a true and correct word, as indeed fuck and cunt are. It's there. Everybody uses this language. How on earth can it be banned? Actually, I think, looking back on it now, if it had been declared illegal, blasphemous, actually at the time I would have preferred it.
Virgin and the Sex Pistols won the case after proving that the word bollocks had a proud history and was even ancient Anglo-Saxon slang for a clergyman. But Malcolm wasn't interested, feeling it was a fight for Virgin and not himself or the band. This attitude was to drive another wedge between him and Johnny Rotten.
But Malcolm didn't show. And after that, we went to a Nottingham radio station, and that's when I dedicated a Cliff Richard song to the no-show McLaren. It's not funny, we don't talk anymore. Excellent. Please play it. It's still one of my faves. It's so funny how we don't talk. The record went on to sell truckloads and inadvertently make Virgin, which is the one thing that grated against me, look vaguely hip. That was the thing that I just felt dreadful about.
The Sex Pistols released their first single with Virgin called God Save the Queen to coincide with the Queen's Jubilee Week. It was immediately banned from many high street stores. But something even more sinister was happening. MI5, the British Secret Service, were watching.
This is the MI5 building. This is where I worked from 1994 to 1996. It's responsible for stopping terrorism and espionage and subversion in the UK.
A lot of the hardcore anarchist groups in Paris did actually praise, at one point, the fact that they thought God Save the Queen was virtually their record.
Looking down this enormous list of files, I happened to see a file called Subversion in Contemporary Music, dated 1977. Seeing the date and seeing the title of the file, I thought this would be quite interesting.
It surprises me how governments waste money, right? And investigating a pop band is really, really, really childish and ludicrous, and it shows that there's something fundamentally wrong with this country.
What it had on it, basically, was details of the Sex Pistols. Most of it was taken from press clippings, mainly from Time Out, I have to say. But there was some information that was gleaned from secret sources, like telephone taps and so on.
I remember setting up in a pub with these Russian journalists and some of their friends, which I'm certain were part of the members of the KGB.
You could imagine this kind of crusty old colonel hearing the lyrics to God Save the Queen, or the lyrics to Anarchy in the UK, and thinking, my God, this is the end of civilization as we know it in Britain.
It doesn't make for a very happy visa life, I'll tell you that. I don't care, they can monitor me all they like, they can look at my bum as much as they so deserve. Right? They'll get nothing but a fart out of it. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Well, there's not enough problems in this country. You've got to be bothering about silly pop bands. Or were we so silly? You see, there's the thing. I was hitting it right, wasn't I?
When God Save the Queen was released, it obviously went to #2 in Silver Jubilee Week. Now, we've all thought for many years that they were in some ways novel, that they really should have been #1. And I think that in 1977, it was just too much. It was just too embarrassing, too much of a kick in the face to the monarchy and what Britain is supposed to stand for them to accept it as #1 at the time.
If the listener doesn't like what they interpret the meaning to be, that's their decision, and they're more than welcome to that opinion. But you cannot stop someone saying what they want to say. You can stop yourself listening.
And from what I know now of the establishment, from working on the inside and from seeing it on the outside when I've annoyed them, I know that they will do things like that.
That's like superiority. We have the right to stop you because we think. Well, we think differently.
This is First Cut is the deepest.
Although the single God Save the Queen shot up the charts, it was Rod Stewart who stole the #1 slot during Jubilee week. God Save the Queen caused such a storm that questions were even raised in Parliament about the group, and the call from certain MPs that they should be hung from Traitors' Gate rang throughout the halls of British democracy.
That was actually seriously discussed in Parliament. That's an achievement, I'm thinking. You know, at the time it weren't. That was, oh my God, where am I going to go?
With nothing less than a call for state-sponsored assault, the Sex Pistols may not have been hung, but they certainly couldn't play anywhere.
I will do everything I can to prevent certain groups, whom I do not propose to name on this programme, from ever appearing in London again. What's wrong with that?
We have had punk rock in Birmingham, unfortunately.
We've had 2 applications in recent times. One was from the Sex Pistols.
I want to make it clear, however, that it's not a question of an MI5 blacklist, it's simply a question of acquiring information.
We decided that on this occasion we would refuse the application.
The decision was made when we discovered it was mere children that would be watching the performance.
Have you been to a punk rock
concert?
concert?
Yes, we've had them in. I've been. I know what I'm talking